Hi, everyone. My name is Meredith, and I'd like to welcome you to the Keep It Pro training call, brought to you by Networking Wisdom each and every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific for the past 8.5 years. This call is brought to you free of charge every week with the intention to teach you specific skills and faith-based principles to get you to the top of where you're going and how to stay there. It is based on the philosophy that what we make happen for others, God will make happen for us. The host and creator of this call is Mr. Romacio Fulcher. Romacio is an internationally recognized mentor, trainer, and entrepreneur. Although Romacio had extreme success in network marketing, doing over $2 billion in sales with a distribution team of over 750,000 people worldwide, about 4 years ago, he decided to shift gears into the world of international commodities, trade, and finance. Having jumped into this unknown territory, Romacio turned to God for guidance more than ever, dedicating many hours to reading and listening to the Word of God. Over the last several years, he has gone through many ups and downs as he has had to navigate and learn a new trade. As he kept his faith and belief strong, miracles began to take place, helping him through his trials and tribulations. The Word held him steadfast, allowing him to come out on top once again. Having said that, one of his true loves is to teach the Word of God in a simplistic way, always drawing down from his own personal experiences. Every call is unique, and he is led by God when deciding on the topic of each week. God told him to start this call 8.5 years ago, and because Romacio has been so obedient, God continues to use him as a vessel to teach his Word. I recommend that you go somewhere quiet where you can focus on this call, because I know what you're going to hear today will be profound. Without further ado, let me get out of the way and introduce your Marketplace Minister, Mr. Romacio Fulcher. Are you there?
Absolutely, I'm here. Thank you so much, Meredith, as always, for stepping up and being our gracious host. I want to welcome everyone back again for another edition of the Sunday Keep It Pro training call. Here we are, guys, rounding out the end of November, heading into a December to remember. That's right. We're heading into a December to remember. For those of you that this is your first time stopping by live, or maybe you're listening to the replay on YouTube or what have you, I want you to know we've been doing this platform for well over eight years now. And we do it every Sunday, this same time, on this same line, okay? There's two objectives that you can always look forward to. Number one, we will teach you the specific skills that you need to get yourself to the top of whatever business, whether it's a small business, medium business, large business, whether it's a job, whatever it may be. We will teach you the specific skills that you need to get to the top. I had a couple questions a couple of weeks ago. People said, well, how do you know what skills that I need? That's a long answer, but the bottom line is this. It takes skill to make it up the hill. And what you'll find in sales, in business, in life, the skills most of the time, the skills that are necessary for you to progress and becoming a stronger person, a better person, they're generally transferable most of the time. So the skills you needed to sell cupcakes when you were a little kid, those same skills is what you need to run a business, just a little bit more refined as you now are an adult operating a business. And so what we do is we teach you the specific skills that you need to get yourself to the top. The second thing that we concentrate on Sundays is we teach you faith-based principles. The reason why we do that, guys, is we know I know firsthand that to have skill without wisdom, that's a fool. To have skill without wisdom, that's a fool. Write it down. To have skills without wisdom is foolish, okay? And so the reason why we really hone in on faith-based principles, because to make a bunch of money but not have the wisdom on how to shelter the money, how to grow the money, how to protect the money, again, is foolish. And so what we do, we love to come from a biblical perspective. We believe in the Bible. We believe in that as the reference of truth. And that's what we teach. And so I'm just sharing this with you at the beginning of the call. I know word is spreading. We get many, many listeners that come on and listen. And sometimes, it's a friend that might have just told you, hey, jump on this call. It's really exciting. This guy has got a wonderful message. And, I'm sure you probably want to know, well, what is this call all about? And so there you have it. We've been doing it 8 years, absolutely free. We never charge, we never have, and we never will, okay? And we accomplish 2 objectives. We teach you the specific skills that you need to get you to the top, number 1. And number 2, we teach you faith-based principles. Notice I didn't say faith-based opinions. We teach principles. Everything that we teach, everything that we stand for, it is a principle. What does that mean? Because I know a lot of people don't even know what principles mean. Principles work for white people, black people, Asian, purple people, green people, Jews, Gentiles, heathens, Catholics, Muslims, everything. A principle is like gravity. It's a law. It's going to work no matter who you are, what you believe in. It's a principle. That's the thing I love about God. God is not a man. He's not a human. He does not lie. God is a spirit. Okay? He's just. He's sovereign. Okay? Notice I said he's just. He's just. What's that mean? What's that mean? What's that mean? It means what God will do for one person, he will do for another. I'm super excited about everyone who's listening to dive into developing a relationship with God, with faith, with their faith. I'm very fired up about that. I'm very serious about that. I'm very bullish about that. I'm very proud of that. And that's not something I want you to misinterpret. I want you to understand my intention, why we do this for 8 years for free, is to lead you to have a life of faith and start to grow your faith. That is my only goal. I don't need no money from you. I don't need nothing from you but your prayers. But that's my goal, guys, okay? So are we clear? I want to move on to today's message. All right, excellent. Now, for those of you that may not know, at the beginning of the year, January, we told the entire world that this is the year of intentional faith and healthy habits. Oh, I just love saying it every time I say it. This year, 2024, is the year of intentional faith and healthy habits. Okay? I got to be honest, I'm still working on my healthy habits. I'm further along this year than I was last year, but I'm still a work in progress on that. But I got to tell you one thing. Here it is. We're ending November, and we're going into December. The one thing I got to tell you guys, listen, one thing I got to pat myself on the back for is I'm so proud of myself in terms of my intentional faith. No matter how hard this year got, no matter how tough this year got, no matter how lean this year was, no matter how prosperous this year was, I never, ever, ever lost my intentional faith for what it is I'm believing in. I never lost it. Never lost it. I'm telling you, listen, anytime you're believing for anything big in your life, write this down. I'm going to say this 2 or 3 times. I'm saying it just for you. Whoever you are listening live or listening to the replay, I'm saying this specific sentence just for you. It doesn't matter that I don't know your name. I don't have to know your name. God knows your name. He's using me as the instrument to talk to you right now. So write it down. Okay? Anytime you are believing for something big in your life, listen, anytime. I said anytime. I didn't say sometimes. I didn't say occasionally. I specifically said what I want you to write. Anytime you are believing for something big to happen in your life, anytime, you will always be tested. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness, 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 my goodness. You will always be tested. There's going to be a test. Oh, God, come on, let me break it down. Let me break it down. Break it down, champ. Listen. I love to use the analogy of a woman birthing a baby. Now, you may say, well, Romacio, what do you know about birthing a baby? And I'm not a woman. Physically, I have never, ever, ever bore a physical child. That's true. But I'm what you call a historian. I love to study principles, right? Only thing I'm missing is some glasses. I don't wear glasses. I got the gray hair, but I don't wear glasses yet, right? So one of the things I study is I study what God was teaching us through the process of a woman having a baby. And there's many, many messages here to learn from, but I want to point your attention to one in particular thing. Obviously, as women, most women, not all, they would love to have children. They would love to have children and to multiply, right? That's most women, not all women, but most women. That's one of their goals, one of the things that they want to, one of their purpose, one of the things they love to do, right? Now, it's easy to have a desire to want to be pregnant and have a child. All you got to do is just say it. I want to be pregnant. I want to have a child. And then obviously you got to have sex with the right time and the whole, blah, blah, blah. Things got to happen and, you got to be ready. He got to be ready and voila, basically, right? Listen, I'm not trivializing. I'm not minimizing, those people that have, it's been difficult for them to get pregnant. I'm just trying to make a point here. It's easy to have the desire to want to be pregnant, right? And then second of all, but once that woman gets pregnant, she's officially determined she's pregnant. She knows it. It's confirmed. She now has a baby inside her. Well, we learn a lot about this process. And one of the things that we learn about that process, guys, is all the different changes that a woman's body goes through while having this wonderful baby inside of her that's growing. Now, because we all come from God, all of us, we don't come from apes, we don't come from monkeys, we were created by God. So we get to learn what was God's intention here. What was his intention when women started giving birth to babies? One of the can learn about the process is when a woman is pregnant, she goes through many changes in her body, many changes. In fact, she goes through many different emotions while being pregnant. I'm not going to get into that. To each is their own, but she goes through different emotions, right? But all in all, what we learn is for her to carry that baby, there is a sacrifice that she has to go through. Her body's going to change. She's going to get bigger. Her emotions are going to change. Her hormones are going to change. Everything is going to be shifting while she's pregnant. And let's fast forward and go straight to the end when it's time for the baby to come forward. Again, I've never physically been pregnant, but from what I've learned and from what I've studied and what I've heard, I've been told that pushing out that baby is one of the most hardest things that women go through. It's painful. I've learned about this word called an epidural. I call it help. Do you need a little help? All right. And so, this process of her pushing out this baby is painful. And so in some cases, some women have it natural. Some women use a little help with the epidural. But nevertheless, this is a painful process to actually introduce an innocent human being into the world. As many would say, the most beautiful thing a woman could ever produce, many would argue, is a child, right? But for that beautiful thing to take place, there's a lot of discomfort. There's a lot of pain. Yes, there's excitement. Oh, I'm pregnant. We're going to have a baby, blah, 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 blah. Yes, but there is a lot of pain. There's a lot of sacrifice. What I want to do today is I want to draw your attention to the fact that I said this is the year of intentional faith. Anytime you are believing for something big, you are going to be tested. Let me explain to you, carefully write down what type of test you can expect to encounter. There are 3 different types of tests that you can expect to encounter when you are carrying something major inside of you. Number one, you will go through a financial test. I love how a lot of times people have goals and they have dreams, and all those goals and dreams, as long as they're positive, those were given to you by God. Go to the Scripture. Scripture tells us God is the one who gave you the ability to gain riches and wealth. Hello, is anybody listening? That didn't come from your mama, your cousin. That desire, that seed was originally planted in your DNA by God. The desire for you to want to prosper and to have more and to be successful, that's not foreign to God. That's not new news to God. That was a part of his original intention. Come on now, right? So now, when you have a major dream, something really big you're believing for, but one of the first tests you're going to go through is a financial test where you are going to be forced with, oh, I need more money. Oh, I'm running out of money. Oh, I don't have any money for a car. Oh, I don't have no gas money. How am I going to get to work? Oh, we need money to grow the business. Oh, we need money to hire the employees. Oh, we need money, 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 more money. I got to get my hands on some, right? In other words, you're going to go through a financial test. During that season, remember this, ladies and gentlemen, God is the one that gave you the dream. He gave you the vision. He gave that to you. He wasn't checking your bank account. He was checking your faith. When God gave you the vision, for whatever it is, I'm talking to all of you listening, do not try and liken my conversation to just, oh, he must be talking about people that want to start a business and make money. No. I said, and I meant what I said, anyone that is dreaming for anything big, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a relationship. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. Okay? When I say it doesn't matter, I mean what I say. It does not matter. You are going to go through a test, a financial test. And I need you to remember that when you're going through that test, it's very important for you to understand it's just a test. It's a test to see how bad do you really want to accomplish this vision, this dream, this purpose that's in your heart. How bad do you really want this thing? How convicted are you about accomplishing what is inside of you? How bad do you want it? You're going to go through a financial test. That's test number one. Test number two, you're going to go through a relationship test. This is where you're believing for something big or bigger than what your partner may be able to see at this time. You're believing in something that's going to require a sacrifice, and that being you won't be able to spend as much time with him or her. That being you're believing for something big that all of a sudden you're going to be able to do date night Tuesdays or date night Fridays like you used to consistently during this season. That may be, when I say a relationship test, you may not be in a position based upon what you're carrying to even be in a relationship at all. Oh yeah, it's going to be a sacrifice. Not to mention if y'all have children together, it's going to be uncomfortable. Because in order for you to bear this dream, in order for you to bear this purpose, there's going to be a sacrifice, a stress, a challenge on your relationship. Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. You can take it to the bank, Frank. Did you hear me? You can take it to the bank, Frank. 100%. There is going to be a relationship test. I'm not finished. When I talk about relationship tests, You think I'm just talking about your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. No. There may be somebody that you lose. What do we mean lose? Somebody may die. Somebody's, plural, may die. That's right. Somebody who you love, care for, who maybe you possibly even doing this for, may all of a sudden get called home and die while you're in the process of believing and sacrificing for this individual, that you're trying to, birth this dream for. Oh, yeah, listen to me. You better write this down. Like my Uncle Gene say, you can either hear me now or you can hear me later. But one thing's for sure, you going to hear me. So I encourage you to write this down. You're going to need what I'm saying. This is not, we're not just doing this casually, just on an accident. I'm forewarning you of what the process entails. We're talking about test number 2 is a relationship test that you are going to encounter. Talking about you may lose someone or someone's. Somebody may die. Several people may die. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a test. Somebody, I'm not finished. We're still on relationship. Somebody who you thought you trusted, who you knew you can trust, all of a sudden betrayed you, deceived you. Oh, listen to me, Frank. Listen to me. It's going to be a test. You're going to be tested. You're going to be tested in the area of relationship. Somebody that you care a lot about may lie and cheat on you and just hurt you. All that stuff. Somebody who's very close to you may all of a sudden, something bad may happen to them. Absolutely. You're going to go through what we call the relationship challenge, the relationship test. All right? So far, we've talked about 2 out of 3. We've talked about the financial test that you're going to encounter while believing for something big. We've talked about the relationship test that you're going to encounter while believing for something big. And finally, we're going to talk about the third test that you're going to encounter, which is the health test. All of a sudden, here you are, you have the courage to believe in something big, and now all of a sudden a health challenge comes on you. You're excited to go to the next level in your life. You're excited to birth great purpose into the world, to do a wonderful thing, and all of a sudden you get that random phone call. Can you please come to the doctor's office? We found something in your blood. Can you please come? We noticed this and that, and we need to do another diagnostic test on this or that. That's right, it's called a health challenge. Look, some health challenges are minor, some health challenges are major. I am here to tell you the good news. Anytime you are carrying something big inside you, God is going to test you. Listen, because I know some of you will never open the Bible and read any of it at all. I'm here to report the cliff notes to you, okay? When we study in the Word of God and we look at the principles and we look at all of the people in the Bible, the prophets and so forth, we see this happen over and over and over and over and over again. While believing for something big, there's always going to be a challenge. Now, some of you don't like what I just informed you of. The good news is I don't care if you don't like what I said. I'm not here to win a popularity contest and make everybody fall in love with me. That's not the purpose why I agreed to do this call. I'm not looking for hand claps. I'm here telling you from the happenings of my own life of what you can expect, and I'm not telling you this story after the fact. I'm telling it to you firsthand while going through the storm. So that's why I told you this is the year of intentional faith, that no matter how hard, how prosperous, how lean, how good, how bad things may get, you cannot let go of your faith. You can't. You've come too far. The purpose of today's call is to remind you that whatever it is that you're going through, it's just a test. It's just a test. And I'm not trying to minimize what you're going through as though it's easy. In fact, I know it ain't easy. It's not supposed to be easy. It's a test. But we all know that in order for you to have the victorious testimony, you have to go through the test. You have to go through it, and you have to grow through it. This call is being done as a point of encouragement to you, because I know that you're going through. I know that you're believing for something. And sometimes while you're believing for something, it looks like it may not happen for you. It looks like with the natural eye, you're further away from it. And what I want to do is I want to encourage you to know that these three things are definitely going to happen. It may be one of these tests that you go through. It may be all three of these tests that you go through. But they're just a test. This is very important for you to know. It's just a test. Now, you may be thinking, all right, wow, this call is right on time. This is why the flyer or the theme of today's call is God is going to test you, then he's going to stress you, then he's going to bless you. Let's say it again. The flyer of today's call was not accidental, but rather intentional. God is going to test you, number one. Number two, he's going to stress you. And then number three, he's going to bless you. What we're doing here is we're sharing with you the process of how blessings work. We're sharing with you the process of how the supernatural takes place. We're sharing with you how the miracle is birthed. We're sharing with you the stages. So my hope is if you know the stages, you can now see what stage or season you may be in. You can identify it. And when you can identify it, you can see what the enemy is trying to do to you. The enemy is trying to get you to give up on the very thing that you've been believing in. And I'm here today to tell you, don't let go of the rope. Don't give up your faith. Plug into this call. Re-listen to these calls. Lean on these calls, because these calls, it's good when you get to hear from somebody that you don't even know, and they're speaking to your situation. It's what we call confirmation. Right? So, know this. It's all happening because it's a test. And you are closer now than you've ever been. Now, you may be thinking, this is great. What do I do? What do I do? What you have to do is very simple in concept, but until you make it a habit, it's going to feel difficult. What you have to do is very simple when I mention it to you, but it's going to be difficult until you make it a habit. That's why we said this is the year of intentional faith, okay? Good job for being very intentional with your faith. But wait a minute. Hold on. What about the habit? In other words, there needs to be some W-O-R-K. There needs to be some work attached, adjoined with this intentional faith. It can't just be all faith, and no work. Doesn't work, baby. That dog don't hunt. You need both. Intentional faith. Notice how it says it's intentional. And then number two, healthy habits. Okay, so here's what you do. You now know, okay, I'm being tested. What do I do? Number one, what you've got to do is you've got to get at least 3 to 5 scriptures committed to memory that speak to your situation. I'm going to repeat myself. What you have to do is get 3 to 5 scriptures that speak to your situation committed to memory. Why do you have to get 3 to 5 scriptures? Because the Word of God, the Scriptures, is the seed. That's the seed that you want to continue to open your mouth and you want to say it. It is not enough for you to read it. There is no power that comes to you from reading a thing. The power that comes through you, it only comes forward when you speak a thing. Oh, you better write that down. Don't miss that. I said there is no power that comes to you from simply reading a thing. The power comes through you when you speak a thing. Now, this is not my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. This is not Romacio's, guru cliff notes. No. This is biblical fact. This is how this works. I'm just giving you the cheat sheet. So you've got to get 3 to 5 scriptures committed to memory that speak to your situation. So if you're believing for a relationship, trust me, you're not the first one in the world to be believing for a relationship. Okay? If you're believing for, success, or you're believing for promotion, you're not the first one in the world believing for promotion. If you're believing for wealth, you're not the first one to be believing for wealth. If you're believing for a health miracle, you're not the first person in the world to be believing for a health miracle. You're not the first. Bible says there is nothing new under the sun. What's that mean? It simply means you're not the first. Okay? God is actually, he's healed these things before. Time and time again. So what you have to do, if you want the supernatural to come and intervene and to help you birth what it is you're doing, you have to act like God. Now I'm explaining. How do you act like God? You've got to speak like God. That's why I said you have to commit 3 to 5 scriptures to memory. Just 3 to 5. That's all you need. 3 to 5 scriptures to memory. And you have to speak those things that aren't. You have to speak them as though they are. In other words, if your body is riddled and health challenges, you have to say, I am healed by his stripes. You have to speak a finished work of what it is you're expecting. This is the first thing. You have to speak. If you're in debt right now, you tore up from the floor up financially, blah, 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 blah. I am debt free. I am a multi-billionaire. You have to speak. Even though you're in a tough situation, a down situation, the worst thing the devil wants you to do is to open your mouth and begin to still act like a king or queen. The devil can't stand that. Listen to me. I'm giving you the cheat sheet. Don't fight me on this information. Why does it work this way? It works this way because the devil wants you to be confused, doubtful, in fear. He wants you to believe it's never going to happen. He wants you to lose all hope. When you lose all hope, you don't have any reason for going forward. That's when you take this little attitude of, it don't matter. I don't really care. You just become numb, and it's just like, I don't really care. It's not going to happen anyway. So, and you become overly sarcastic, which I can't stand. Because you just gave up. So again, I'm going to repeat myself. 3 to 5 scriptures, commit to memory, and you have to speak them out loud. Okay? This is the work part. You got to speak this. Now look, nobody said just because you spoke it out loud, all of a sudden tomorrow you're going to snap your fingers and here go $1 billion. All of a sudden you snap your fingers tomorrow, cancer's gone. Nobody said that. What we're saying, though, for you to be in the manifestation business, you have to be intentional with your faith. And one of the ways to be intentional with your faith is you speak the things that aren't as though they are. Are we clear? You got it? Very important. You speak that you have to speak. There you go. Some of you, I can feel some of y'all fighting me. Well, I don't really want to speak it out loud. I didn't say you had to get on a conference call. I didn't say you had to get on FaceTime or Facebook. I didn't say you had to have an audience, but you got to speak it out into the universe. How about you speak it in the shower? How about you speak it in your bedroom? How about you speak it in your car? You got to open your mouth. Oh, but I'm an introvert. I don't really talk. Well, you better talk, girl. You better talk, man. You're going to have to talk. What, you think this is a head battle? This ain't no head battle. This is a real fight you're in. This is a real fight. And I'm showing you how to win. I'm showing you how to win. I'm showing you how to win. I'm not charging you for this. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you how it works. So what? You may gain weight. You may lose some money. You may lose some friends. Your boyfriend may leave you. Your girlfriend may leave you. So what? So what? I know. Look, I'm not trying to minimize it, but I'm just look, Frank. Listen, Frank. I love calling everybody Frank. It's just a joke. But listen, there's going to be a price that you're going to have to pay for this miracle. Look here, homeboy. Listen, homegirl. You're not going to be able to stay the exact same way as you was when you got the vision, the purpose, the dream, and now that you have it. Are you listening to me? It's called maturity. You're not going to be able to be the same. When you was dreaming of the dream car you want, by the time you finally get it, there's going to be some changes in you. You're not going to be the same. You got to understand. It's the same way. It's how it works in all things. So you're going to have to open your mouth and you're going to have to speak. Now, I've told you guys this 10, 15, 20 different times. I'm telling you why? Because we're talking about a December to remember. We're talking about we're going into a December to remember. We're talking about, we started this back in January, intentional faith and healthy habits. I know some of you have not received the miracle that you've been waiting on, that you've been praying for, that you've been working towards, believing for. I know. But let me remind you that the God that we serve in 6 days created everything and everyone in 6 days, and he rested on the seventh. You cannot convince me that God is not powerful enough to be able to literally blink at your situation and all of a sudden turn your devastation into everything you've ever dreamed of. You can't tell me he can't do it. You can't. You just can't convince me of that. I've seen too much. I've experienced too much. So what I'm trying to tell you, what God is looking for from you is faith. He's not looking for perfection. He already knew you wasn't perfect. That's why he sent his only begotten son to die for us, because he knew we wasn't going to be perfect. So Jesus Christ already paid the price. So stop talking to me about, I done slipped and failed. I made a mistake. I got a bad habit. God know all that stuff. Ain't none of that new news. Tell me something I don't already know. What I'm telling you, man, what I'm telling you, lady, this is a faith fight. You got to understand how this thing works. If you lose your confidence, you got nothing. If you lose your belief, you got nothing. If you lose your hope, you got nothing. I dare you to hope for nothing and expect something. I dare you to hope for nothing and expect something. It won't happen. So the one thing you have to do is commit 3 to 5 scriptures to memory. Now, these are scriptures that speak to your situation. If you don't know what's 3 to 5 scriptures that speak to your situation, I suggest you ask somebody. I suggest you type online, on YouTube. I suggest you send a text message to somebody. Send me an email or something. Ask for help. We'll help you. You need 3 to 5 scriptures that speak to your situation. And you need to speak them on a daily basis. I'm debt free. I'm debt free. I don't care what it looks like. I'm debt free. 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 I'm debt free this year. I'm debt free this year. I'm debt free this year. I'm walking in the overflow right now. Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Hold the paperwork, homeboy. We don't do financing anymore. Everything is paid for cash. We don't, no. You don't need to talk to the manager. You ain't got to go through no approval process. Stop it. We don't do that stuff no more. Everything is paid for cash. Did you hear what I said? I'm debt free. All right. And see, some of you laughing at me. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not doing this for you. I'm trying to teach you, but if you laugh, and go ahead and laugh. We'll see who gets the last laugh. I promise you that. I promise you that. Remember I said what I said, and I'm standing on it. Laugh if you want to. I'm trying to share with you, free of charge, how this works. We've been doing this for 8 years, not 8 minutes. I'm telling you how it works. Now that you got your 3 to 5 scriptures, you've agreed to do that, and you're going to speak them out loud on a daily basis to yourself. That's wonderful. That's the first thing. It's the most important thing that you can do. The most important thing you can do. The second most important thing you can do, the second most important thing that you can do is win the day. Write that down. Win the day. Woo! This is so deep today, man. We're about to wrap up in 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. The second most important thing you can do is win the day. Win the day. What can I do today to move me forward towards what I'm believing for? What can I do today? What small thing can I do today to move me forward towards what I'm believing for? There's always maybe you wake up, you spend 20, 30 minutes with God, being thankful, being grateful, professing, proclaiming who you are, where you're going, what's about to happen to you. Maybe you wake up, there's some calls or some that you need to make, or 2 or 3. Maybe there's an email you need to send. Maybe there's a meeting you need to request. Maybe you need to actually leave your house. There's something that you can do. Let me prove my point to you, and we're about to close right here, baby. When a woman is having a baby, even though the baby is going to come out, the woman has to do the work to push. It's amazing how 2 people can have sex, and all of a sudden another human being can come out of her body. Another whole human being can come out of her body. But guess what? She's going to have to do some what? She's going to have to do some what? She's going to have to do some what? Some work. So what I'm telling you, for God to help you manifest what it is you're believing for, guys, you're going to have to do some work. So that's why I said the second thing you need to do is win the day. That's it. You got to win the day. That's it. Winning the day is very simple, and it's something very attainable. What one thing do I need to do today to move me forward towards what it is I'm trying to accomplish, towards what it is I'm believing for? What's one small thing? Now remember, the first thing is very important. It's extremely important. The first thing and the second thing that I just told you, they both together are equally as important. The second thing is not more important than the first, and the first thing is not more important than the second. The 2 things I just gave you, ladies and gentlemen, together combined, what this whole year has been about: intentional faith and healthy habits. Intentional faith is you speaking those things that aren't as though they are. The habit part is you winning the day. What's one thing that you can do to move you closer to what you're believing for? You see how we simplified that? We made it into 2 steps for you. So let's recap. On this call, we talked about what it means to believe in something big, and I kind of prepared you for what's going to happen to you so that as it's happening, you will no longer be dismayed or be caught off guard like, wow, why am I going through this? What's going on? Oh, my God. No. You now will look at it and go, oh, this is a part of the process. He talked about this. He taught me about this. This is a part of the process. I'm closer now than I ever been before. So what you got to do is hunker down. What does that mean? I got to speak those things that aren't as though they are, number one. And number two, I got to win the day. That's it. That's all I got to do. That's all I got to do. That's all I got to do. It's real simple. You do your best and let God and the supernatural do the rest. His word is his promise. He does not lie. He may not come when you want him to, but I'm telling you from experience, he's perfect in all his ways, and he's always on time. I know sometimes we don't understand. I know sometimes it gets so hard and so tough, and sometimes we become busted and even disgusted. I understand, but you can't give up your faith. Let me tell you as I leave you with this. I do get upset. I do get frustrated. I get very frustrated because I want progress. I want to understand, how does it work? But the one thing I'm careful of is I know that God is perfect in all his ways. Even though when I don't understand, he always understands. Even when I don't get it, he already got it. So I just, what I always say, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how mad, no matter how fierce the tears are streaming from my face, I always say, God, I trust you, even if I don't understand you. I trust you because I know your intentions are best for me. I know that they're pure for me. I trust you when you close a door, and I trust you when you open a door. I just continue to tell the enemy, no matter how hard you try, no matter how many shots you fire, no matter how intense your wrath may be, I already have the victory. I trust you. Lord, I trust you. And in the words of one of my, I call him Prophet Baby. He's a rapper. In the words of Little Baby, he said, listen, I'm going to do it with my head up and my chest out. Let's get it on. I'm going to do it. If it's hard, I'm going to do it with my head up and my chest out. If I don't got no money, I'm going to do it with my head up and my chest out. That's right. If you're broke, understand broke is temporary, poor is permanent. I'm going to do it with my head up and my chest out because that's the making of a leader. That's the making of an entrepreneur. That's the making of a man. That's the making of a woman. Stop trying to be phony and fake and be real with your situation. Be real. Understand your situation is temporary. This is what develops character. This is where resilience shines through. This is where my favorite word, persistence, is back at it again. This is the making of a strong man. This is the making of a strong woman. This is the making. Instagram ain't nothing but a Insta photo at that moment in time. Yeah, you was up in the picture, not knowing 10 minutes from now you was going to be down. Or vice versa. You was down back then, and look at you now. Come on, don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't tell me I don't know what I'm spitting. I know firsthand that if he's doing it for me, I know for sure he'll do it for you. My hope, my prayer is that this message encourages you. I hope that this message will move you to action in 2 areas. Number 1, I said 3 to 5 scriptures. Commit them to memory and speak them out loud. 3 to 5 scriptures that relate to your specific situation. Speak them out loud. Number 1. And number 2, write it down. Write it everywhere. Put it on your Facebook page. Put it everywhere. I'm going to win the day. I got to win the day. I'm going to win the day. I'm going to win the day. I'm going to win today. I'm going to win the day. That's it. You do those 2 things. And in the words of my late grandpa, you do your best. And grandson, let God do the rest. That's it, baby. That's it. We out of here. Hey, listen, I'm the California Kid. I love you guys. I'm believing with you. We're rounding out November. We're coming around the corner. Have a happy Thanksgiving. And we're going into a December to remember. This is the year, 2024. Intentional faith, healthy habits. I'm telling you, it's happening. I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye, everybody. Much love.